Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. Today we are talking about ground cover. And ground cover to me is so great because, in my opinion, it's what makes the biggest difference in your garden. When I look at either videos of gardens that you guys have sent me for the Show Me Your Garden series, or public gardens, or even pictures on Pinterest, when I see a garden that's chock full with ground cover, I am so attracted to that. I think that look is so beautiful because it's almost like, it makes me think that garden is such a beautiful, wonderful place to be. The plants are fighting over for space to grow, and every square inch is being taken over by some type of plant life. And I just love that. I love that thought. I love that idea. Don't get me wrong. I love gardens that rely heavily on mulch or rock mulch. I think those are beautiful too. But I just really love the look of a bunch of ground cover in the garden where everything is covered. And that's the goal for my garden, which is kind of hard for my garden because I have pretty much a full sun garden. I started from scratch. There was nothing here. And I'm finally at the point in this garden's life that I can really start thinking about ground covers and covering big areas now that I have a lot of the structure plants planted and I know where a lot of things are going to stay. So today we're focusing on ground covers. I'm getting a couple ground covers planted in my garden, and I just thought that I would talk about how important I think it is. You all know, well, if you've watched me for a while, you know how much I talk about mulch and how important mulch is for your garden. Mulch suppresses weeds, it retains soil moisture, it keeps the soil temperature cool during the summer. It keeps the life of your soil going. Mulch is one of the most important things, and I learned in my Master Gardeners classes how important it was that we would say mulch, mulch, mulch. We wouldn't say just mulch. We would, anytime anyone talked about mulch, we would say mulch, mulch, mulch. And that's how important it was. And so the definition of mulch, I have in my notes right here. Mulch is any material that is spread or laid over the surface of soil to help conserve moisture, suppress weeds, regulate soil temperature, and improve soil health. So mulch can be wood chips, it can be rocks, it can be bark mulch, it can be, it can be landscape fabric, it can be gravel, but anything that you put on top of the soil. And I want you guys to think that another example of mulch, or a living mulch, is ground cover, because ground cover does all the things that the definition of mulch says, but it does even a little bit extra because it's living, right? So it's adding organic nutrients to the soil as it breaks down. It's giving an area for beneficials to hide in during the winter. If it blooms, it's giving some nectar for pollinators. It's just a really, really great thing to have in your garden, other than just for cosmetic purposes. So before I show you guys the ground cover that I have today, which I'm very excited about, I'm looking at my blank gazebo patio back behind me, and I just wanted to tell you guys how excited I am because my patio furniture should be getting delivered today. I ordered it online. It said it was supposed to be delivered today. So hopefully the next video you guys see is me decorating the gazebo, which will be great. I'm very, very excited about it. We just got this painted. Well, I should say we got it stained. It was a semi-transparent oil-based stain in the color cedar. And I'm just so excited to get it decorated. So at garden centers, you can get ground cover. There's usually a ground cover section, and you can go there and you can get ground cover in the 6-packs, right? 6-cell packs, or you can get them like this, which is where they're sold in like these big pallets, these big flats of ground cover of plants. And these are great. Basically what you're supposed to do with these is you're just supposed to basically rip a chunk out and then plant this wherever you need to plant it around your garden. So these are really great if you're covering kind of a bigger area, or say you have stepping stones and you want to kind of fit them around the stepping stones. These pallets are really great. They're really cost effective, and they're a good option if you're looking for ground cover. You can also get ground cover in seeds. It's so funny. I was planning to do this video, and then one of you, Bernie and Heather, sent me these creeping zinnia seeds telling me how much you love this. I've actually never grown creeping zinnia. I'm going to wait until next year to sow these, but I just had to point that out. That was just like perfect timing, Heather and Bernie. So creeping zinnia, you can get ground cover in seeds as well. So the ground cover I have, this is called White Star Creeper. Isn't this so beautiful? It has these beautiful, dainty little white flowers during the spring and summer. And then there's also another variety of this called Blue Star Creeper. And I was going back and forth between getting the white one and the blue one. And I just decided on the white one, not knowing where I was going to plant it exactly. This is called ajuga. And I don't know why I haven't planted ajuga in my garden. I used to not like this plant, but it is another one of those plants that's just growing on me. This one's called mahogany, and you can see why, because it has these beautiful dark glossy leaves. And this one is supposed to do really, really well in so many different environments, basically. For us here in zone 9B, where we get really, really hot, it needs a little bit of afternoon protection, but this one is supposed to be like a complete workhorse. And it spreads by above ground, what are those called? Stolons, I think? I wrote it down because I didn't want to mess it up. Yeah, ajuga spreads quickly through stolons above ground runners, creating a dense weed suppressing mat over time. It's a favorite for erosion control on slopes and banks. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then the other one, this one I cannot get over. When I put this in my car and I drove home, I kept smelling it and it was just amazing. This is called woolly thyme, and it's so fun. It has these fuzzy leaves on it. It is a type of thyme that I guess you can eat, but it's not really a culinary one. It just smells so good, you guys. And all of these can take a little bit of foot traffic, so you can step on them a little bit, not a ton, but just imagine if you're stepping through this, especially in the morning, and you get that scent. Oh, it's just amazing. So I've already decided where I want to plant each one of these ground covers in my garden. They all spread at a little bit different rates. Let me take each one over to the place where I'm planning to plant them, and then I'll talk a little bit more about them. Okay, so the first ground cover I'm going to tackle today is this White Star Creeper. So White Star Creeper is generally hardy zones 6 through 9. And the thing about this guy is that it can't handle intense sun, at least here where I am. It needs a little bit of protection and it needs lots of moisture. It needs to be basically irrigated. If you live in cooler climates than I do, you can probably get away with like just relying on the weather, relying on the rain, putting it in full sun. But for me, I definitely have to put it in a protected area. And if you can see where I am right now, I am in my orchard garden, and I'm in this one spot that has protection for a lot of the day by the orange tree. Then it has protection from the big Miss Molly butterfly bush, and it has protection from my neighbor's black walnut tree. So it's a really protected area. And then if you take a look at my gravel pathway, you can see that there's quite a lot of moisture here. There is no irrigation leak here. Jason and I have checked so many times to see if there's an irrigation leak, and I think that it's just a place where water kind of slopes down, water accumulates. So I have really bad drainage right here. So it's just a place that has really poor drainage. And I have scaevola planted here. Whirlwind blue scaevola, beautiful, beautiful plant. And I actually had it planted all throughout here, but you can see this whole area right here died because I think it had too much water. It had really poor drainage, and scaevola likes drier soil. So I thought this would be a great place to plant some of the White Star Creeper. So like I said, loves moisture, but not super soggy soil. It can grow in full sun to part shade, depending on what area you live in. Afternoon protection for me, of course. Pollinator friendly because it has all these beautiful flowers on it. It's not invasive. It's not considered invasive, but it can be vigorous in ideal conditions. So make sure that you understand what you're planting, and if you want it to stay in place, this might not be the plant for you. Like, my goal for this is for it to spread absolutely everywhere, and I don't think it's going to spread as much as I want it to, but I definitely want it to. So this is an evergreen year-round, which is great, and then it can tolerate some light foot traffic. So it's a great one to plant in between stepping stones. There's some really beautiful pictures online of planting it in between stepping stones, but I'm just going to plant it on either side of the pathway. I'm going to plant it right here in this area. I probably won't get this whole area, but I'm going to plant it here. And then I'm going to even bring it over around this not orange blaze. This is hot and cold Kniphofia. I'm going to bring it around this area as well. And then if you can see this little plastic baggie here, this has nothing to do with ground cover. This is my grandfather's spider plants. My mom had a specimen, so my grandfather grows spider plants all throughout his garden, and where we live, we can grow these outside. And I stole some babies from my mom's plants that she got from them, and I have been propagating them inside, and I had a couple left over. So I think I'm going to transplant them probably over here, because this will probably like the same conditions that the white star creeper does. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get started. Oh, I forgot to talk about the spread. Okay, white star creeper gets 2 inches tall and 12 to 18 inches wide. And so what that means is that you can plant a chunk of this plant every 12 inches, and eventually it will all grow together into one big mat. Okay, so the white star creeper is all planted. I guess you could call this 12 inches. Maybe it's a little closer than 12 inches apart, but they're all going to grow together. And if they take and do well, they're all going to be one nice mat right here. And I'm thinking of what I'm doing for irrigation. Like you can see, we have a drip right there, and I think I'm going to do one of those micro sprayers. I don't really like using those micro sprayers because I feel like they evaporate too quickly, but this might be a really good area to have just a couple, maybe 3 micro sprayers. You can see I also planted my grandpa's spider plants right here. I have one there, and one there. So those are going to grow up and look really pretty. So this could be a really nice addition to this area. And then just for a little bit of continuity, I took it from here and then a little bit over here as well, underneath the Kniphofia and right next to my Surefire rose begonia. So I'm a little bit more worried about this area because this area is a little bit drier, and I might actually do drip emitters to every single one over here. I'll have to talk to Jason about it. But white star creeper is planted. Hopefully it starts growing together and looking really pretty. Let's move on to the woolly thyme. Okay, so I'm over here in front of the fig tree, and this is the area that I'm thinking about planting this beautiful woolly thyme that I am absolutely obsessed with. So this is hardy zones 5 through 9. It's an evergreen in zone 7 and above, and it's drought tolerant, and they say it's perfect for xeriscaping. And what xeriscaping means is it means a plant that doesn't need water. It doesn't need supplemental water. So you can basically plant it and forget it. I don't know if I can get away with that in my garden because we are so dry. And if you think about where I'm planting it, I'm planning on planting it right next to concrete. So it's going to be even hotter. So I probably will hook this up to a little bit of drip, but knowing that a plant is good for xeriscaping means you know it can handle heat and it can handle dry conditions, which is awesome. Super, super low maintenance, deer and rabbit resistant, and it says it's non-invasive, which is really cool. So I am thinking about planting it kind of, you can see wherever there's mulch, kind of planting it all in this area to kind of cover the mulch, because this is actually kind of a tough spot for me with things that don't like to grow because it gets so hot and the soil is really, really dry here. I also think that my driveway is not super intact on the edges. It's kind of hard for me to find the very edge of my driveway, and you can see it's kind of breaking apart. So it's really, really poor soil. And we will be replacing our driveway eventually, but per recommendation from our landscape designer, my good friend Michael Glassman, he has said a million times that is the absolute last thing you do, because you will have trucks and you'll have tractors and you'll have a whole bunch of stuff going on while you're fixing up your property, and this should be the last thing that you do. So I know a lot of you have asked me when we're going to address the driveway. That's in the future. So in the meantime, I'm going to plant some ground cover to cover the edges of it. So anyway, so I'm going to be planting it all in this area. This is in front of the raspberry superbena, in front of the plain the blue salvia. This is pink profusion salvia that's so beautiful. And then it's looking so good right now. It's the Ladybird Sunglow Calilophus. And I cannot believe it. They actually changed the name of this plant. It's no longer Calilophus. It's called, Oenthera, I think is what it's called. Which just kills me, because it takes me a long time to remember the names of plants like Calilophus. And now I have to completely change the name. So botanists or whoever changes the name, but that's a different name. And then this is Sweet Romance Lavender that I do need to cut back. So I'm going to try and plant it kind of all over in this area. It does spread more than the White Star Creeper. It will spread up to 3 feet. So I will have plenty of it, and it should fill in very, very quickly. One more thing I want to say before I get started planting. This area is super prone to weeds. We are constantly coming here and weeding this area, even with the mulch. So having a ground cover to suppress the weeds is excellent, even more of a benefit. So I'm super happy to get this ground cover down, not only because I think it's going to look beautiful, but it's going to save us some time, because hopefully we won't have to weed this area as much. Look what just got delivered. Very exciting. So these boxes, this is the furniture for the gazebo, which is awesome. And then over here, I have a rug and some other things. So I don't want to spoil it. I want to do a whole nother video on decorating the gazebo. So let's see, this video should come out Friday, and watch Monday, because I'll be decorating it on Monday. Yay! I'm so excited. So let me show you where I planted the woolly thyme. I think it looks really good. Plus I cleaned it up a little bit. So with ground cover, it's kind of tough because you have to pull away some of the mulch that you have so that the ground cover can spread. So I worked on pulling back. So I had a ton of mulch here, a ton of mulch. And you can see why, because we have a little, it's kind of like a little dip area in our driveway that needs to be fixed. And you can see where water pools. I already watered in the woolly thyme and it's kind of pooling here. So a lot of the mulch, a lot of the soil comes and kind of piles in this area. So I pulled a lot of it out, pulled a lot of it back, scooped it up and kind of cleaned it up a little bit so that you can see exactly where the end of the driveway actually is. And then hopefully this woolly thyme will spread out into the areas because there's not very much mulch here. Now I am going to have tons of weeds in the meantime as it's spreading, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'll just stay on top of it. And then hopefully this woolly thyme will take and it'll spread really, really quickly, which I think it should. But I have to say, I love it. I think it's so pretty. I can already see it once it fills in. Isn't that going to be just absolutely beautiful? I'm super, super happy about it right here. So last but not least for my ground covers is the ajuga. And the ajuga, if you live in a cooler climate than I live, ajuga can usually take full sun. But for us, they recommend, my local garden center recommended a little bit of afternoon sun protection. So I am thinking about planting it right here, right underneath my star jasmine espalier. This wall faces east, so it faces morning sun, as you can see right now. But as the sun gets higher in the sky and then starts to set, which is the hot, intense afternoon sun, it's going to be protected. And I just recently planted all of this Platinum Beauty Lamandra, which I think is absolutely beautiful. And I was thinking about doing it as the ground cover around the Platinum Beauty Lamandra because we have the evergreen color of the star jasmine, and then we have the platinum color of the lamandra, and then having the dark color of the ajuga, the mahogany ajuga, I just think is going to be absolutely beautiful. Now, I do have some Superbena here. It's Superbena Whiteout that's really pretty, but I don't think it's a long-term solution for this area, especially because I have Superbena over on this side. This is my pink cashmere, and I don't want the two Superbenas kind of fighting with each other. So I don't think I'm going to pull these necessarily, but I think, I don't know, eventually I'm going to pull them. As the ajuga fills in, I will eventually take those out. But my goal would be to have all the ajuga, the dark ajuga underneath, and then the bright Platinum Beauty Lamandra, and then having the star jasmine behind it. Won't that look just beautiful? To the conclusion that I need to run to the store and I need to go get more ajuga immediately because I think it looks so good, you guys. Oh my goodness, why didn't I plant this sooner? This looks, once it all fills in, can you imagine just kind of a sea of this dark foliage with this light Platinum Beauty Lamandra kind of poking out? Oh my goodness, it's gonna look so good. And I think it's kind of, so before I planted all this, I had, what I was trying to do, a black and white garden with black mondo grass and Superbena Whiteout, and it just didn't quite work. But I think this is like the look I was trying to go for with that really intense contrast up here. It looks amazing. And I want to go get 2 more pallets of ajuga and fill it in so that it fills in as soon as possible. I'm also going to get 2 more Platinum Beauty Lumandras. I'm going to put one right there, and then I'm going to put one right over there. And I think that that'll be really pretty and kind of fill this whole area out. And I'm just so incredibly excited about it. As soon as I started planting it, I was like, oh, this is good. I also went and got a couple bags of soil so that I could kind of amend the area. The area was fine. The soil was just really low. So I thought I would just add some nice, rich, fresh soil so that those surface roots, the stolons on the ajuga, can spread really rapidly. So very, very happy with how this turned out. I am so happy with how this turned out. Side note, I don't know if you guys can see it, but the skydivers are out. Can you see them? They look like they're gonna fall into my garden. They are literally directly ahead, on top of me. It's crazy, and I can hear them. So we have a small airport right by us, and there's a skydiving company. And so on the skydiving days, it's very interesting. Trying to get you guys a better look at the skydivers. They definitely make the day interesting. Do you see that one? Look how fast that one's going. The blue one. Oh my goodness. Okay, they're more over there now. Gosh, when they first jump, they look like they're gonna land right on my garden, right on my flowers. On the days when the skydivers are going, it definitely makes gardening interesting. That's for sure. All right. Anyway, I think that that's going to be it for today. I planted some really great ground covers and I am hooked. I want more. I want more ground covers all over my garden. I know I've said that so many times before, but it's just something that, gosh, I just think it makes such a difference. It's like the finishing touch, like the icing on the cake. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.